That's not clickbait. I am really leaving San Francisco. Here's my apartment. Most everything is already packed and sent into storage. I have been in San Francisco for 7 years. I own my home in Burbank, but work brought me up here. It was supposed to be a 3 to 5 year business plan. I've been here 7 years and it doesn't feel like we've even gotten to the beginning of the 3 to 5 years yet. So I started my channel in November, and the idea was, that's off tourist season, and the idea was that I would create content during the off season of things that you could do in San Francisco for tourists, like the common things you do, like the cable car, the Embarcadero, the ferry building, and so on. And then the not so common things that you do, like the mosaic stairs or just the historical walk along Market Street or some of the history of Chinatown. And there was so much more that I wanted to do. So I wanted to have this content so that during the tourist season, when people are coming and looking for things to do, my channel would be a resource for them. Great idea, right? Perfect plan. What could go wrong? So when the shelter-in-place order was issued in March, we were able to work from home. I have a full-time job, thankfully. So we didn't have too much impact to our business. Business did drop. We're struggling like a lot of companies, but we were able to keep working, but we expected to be back into the office in July, and that's not going to happen. I mean, I'm kind of at a loss. At least in my neighborhood, people wore masks, people were socially distancing. Everyone here took it seriously, but it takes everyone. And so here we are. We can't go back into the office and work. So it doesn't make sense to keep paying for office space if nobody's going to be coming in. So our offices are closing, and since I am no longer going into work, there's no reason for me to stay here either. So I am leaving tomorrow, as a matter of fact. I'll be honest, I don't want to go. I love San Francisco in so many ways. First, all the people that I've met, really good friends, but I can't see them now because of the pandemic. And then there were so many things to do. I was a subscriber at San Francisco Playhouse and a donor. So I was going to events with them. I love going to the theater. I would love just going even to the Starbucks on Saturdays and sitting there, and the energy and everything. And, you know, the theaters aren't going to be opening. Starbucks is open, but you go pick up your coffee and you have to leave. And sometimes I would take my coffee down to the Apple store where they had tables and chairs. And those are all put away, so I can't even sit outside there. So, you know, all of the things I love about being here in San Francisco, they're shut down. So I don't want to go, but I don't want to stay either. So, oh, and like, take a look at everything that I have here. You've seen my car. It's a Volkswagen Beetle. I've got to get everything in the car, and it's already halfway packed with clothing and other things. So I don't know how I'm going to do this at all. Anyway, I have cleaning and packing to do, so I'll stop by before I leave. I started loading my car. As it turns out, I couldn't get everything into my car. I had given away as much as I could, thrown away as much as I could, and I had to be out of my apartment the next day. There was no extension. I didn't know what to do, but I had to do something. The next day I rented an SUV one way to Burbank and loaded it up. Yes, I had enough stuff to fill an SUV, and it took me 6 hours to load it all. So this is it. I am hot, I'm sweaty, and I have everything out of my apartment except my kitty and my kitty box, my kitty carrier. Geez, I hate leaving. I don't want to leave. But, you know, you never know when something that seems like a bad thing turns out to be a good thing. I'll do one last pass of the apartment and then grab my cat because he's running away from me, and then we're on the road. Alright, so I've returned the rental car and I am on my way to the terminal to fly back to San Francisco and pick up my car. Yep, I had booked a one-way flight back to San Francisco to pick up my Beetle, which had the rest of my stuff packed in it. The flight was packed. The airline claimed it was social distancing by calling 5 rows at a time, but at least everyone was wearing a mask and no one was complaining. In the terminal, I got to the food court and I honestly stood there and started crying, except for everyone wearing masks. It was so much like the before times. I miss my life. I don't have to tell you, I'm sure you have your own stories. One of the things I love about San Francisco Airport is that they always have art exhibits. Check out some of these art pieces from the International Terminal. So you're probably asking, why were you in the International Terminal? You flew from Burbank to San Francisco, neither of which is in another country, although sometimes it might feel like you're on another planet. Truth? I got lost. For me, that's really not as hard as it sounds. Anyway, I finally found the BART station and took it all the way to Oakland, where my office used to be and where my car was parked. So half of my stuff is down in Burbank, the rest of it's here in my little Volkswagen Beetle, and these are my last few minutes in the Bay Area. I don't know what to say. Just things will get better. You never know when something that seems like a bad thing turns out to be a good thing. And what we're experiencing now is a very, very bad thing for the country. Hopefully we can all come together and good will come out of this. But anyway, it's time for me to hit the road, head back to Burbank. Thank you for watching.